It has been a really informative trip visiting Northeast Syria, and my time in Raqqa really was especially interesting because I was able to meet with Arab communities that talked about how they've built a government that reflects them. I asked one Arab woman about if they welcomed the autonomous administration into Raqqa after the ISIS liberation, and she said, no, it wasn't like that. No one came to set up organization. We, the people of Raqqa, are the ones that set up the autonomous administration. We are the government here. And really explained how they've set up a government that is inclusive of all religions, ethnicities, in the Arab areas as well, and how they're building a future for themselves there. And that really shows how the autonomous administration has adapted to each of the areas, but yet brought those principles, a multi-ethnic, multi-religious government that gives everyone an equal seat at the table. And that's why we have these really remarkable religious freedom conditions, these gender equality conditions, an environment that is important for stability and is something that more people need to understand. I'm thankful to hear that the U.S. government has been strong in its stance against allowing another Turkish invasion. And I do know they're using diplomacy and all the tools they have to make it clear to Erdogan that an invasion is not welcome and not allowed here. It's important for the people of Northeast Syria and all of those around the world that understand the importance of what's happening here to share about the remarkable conditions here so people understand what an invasion means. An invasion, first of all, an invasion is normally not allowed. A government is not supposed to take land from another government just because it wants it. And so that's pretty much what President Erdogan has done, is he's framed it as if the people here are the terrorists. He's invading to bring peace, when actually he's taken away peace, he's taken away religious freedom, he's taken away these remarkable conditions. And in the places that Turkey has already invaded, they've instituted conditions that are horrific, that include rape, killings, murder. All the religious minorities, ethnic minorities have either fled or they've been the targets of this violence. And it's very similar to the ISIS caliphate. And most of the world, maybe even the NATO members, don't understand what this invasion means. And so that's one of the reasons I came, is to just show people the conditions here and how remarkable they are and the kind of freedom people have to live their lives in accordance to their conscience, and how that is really rare in this region. And it's important that the U.S. stands with the autonomous administration. And the other point that's important to remember is the best way to fight ISIS, which is the U.S. mission here in Northeast Syria, is to provide stability. And the autonomous administration of Northeast Syria is the stability here in Northeast Syria. So the best way to fight ISIS is to build the stability here, encourage the government, help them to continue to stand strong. And that creates an environment that makes it hard for extremism to grow here. So Turkey is framing this potential invasion with so much false information that the international community needs to take a look at the actual conditions in Northeast Syria, which are excellent, that represent the values that the U.S. supports, which is freedom, religious freedom, gender equality, and being able to make a future. The areas that Turkey's already invaded are horrific by everyone's standards, and it's not peace. So this is what Erdogan is saying he wants to do, goes against the standards for the international community. And there's so much interest in Ukraine and the fact that Russia is invading Ukraine and committing war crimes. But what Turkey wants to do here is pretty much the same thing. He's invading here, committing war crimes. And if it's not allowed in Ukraine, it shouldn't be allowed here in Northeast Syria. So there is no way we can have a political solution for Syria without including the Northeast. It's the only government here, the autonomous administration of North and East Syria, that is successful in all of Syria. So all these discussions for a political solution with the Syrian opposition in Geneva for UN Resolution 2254, it's all meaningless if there's no representation from the autonomous administration in North and East Syria. So the U.S. needs to demand their inclusion, which is one of the recommendations that the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom has made to the U.S. government. And if they don't, the U.S. government should take the autonomous administration to Geneva, do parallel meetings, and make it very clear to the international community that there can be no political solution without the autonomous administration of North and East Syria having a seat at the table.